Hello! This video is part of the What's New series for Magnitude MDM version 10 SP1. There are two videos in this series. This one focuses on two major enhancements: a new reference matching option for matching subjects between parent and child categories, which uses the same fuzzy matching engine as Harmonization. The second is a Harmonization override option. This lets users edit a harmonized record in the MDM provider and not lose their changes during subsequent harmonized data loads. The other video describes architectural changes we've made in MDM that change the way data is managed in the application. These changes have led to substantial performance improvements in many areas. Be sure to watch both videos for a complete picture into this service pack release. Our motivation for this release is to continue to release improvements related to automation, performance, and usability. Our goal is to provide you with true industrial strength information management. The enhancements covered in this video focus on automation and usability. So let's dive deeper into these new features. I'll start with reference matching. Reference matching automates the matching of subjects in two categories by populating a reference association between them. It provides for a high degree of automation without sacrificing the benefit of human decision-making. Data stewards set matching weights and thresholds that specify the degree of confidence required for a match, and whether matching occurs automatically or with manual assistance and approval. Let's look at an example. I need to match subjects in my SAP Source Systems category with subjects in the Location category. The reference matching task will populate the SAP Source Systems to Location association attribute with a reference to a matching location. The red box on the BIM diagram shows the reference association I need to populate, and the right-hand column on the table of subjects shows the association after the matching task has run. After the reference matching is run, the SAP Source System to Location association will be populated for the matched records. Here you can see that Carl Kalm's and Anthony John Bell's records have been updated. Results can be previewed before the task is run. This lets data stewards test and adjust the matching rules as necessary, and analyze the quality of the source data before they execute the match definition. There's one prerequisite before you can use reference matching. The reference attribute between the categories must exist. In our example, that means the highlighted attribute must have been defined and deployed to the MDM business information model. At a high level, reference matching is a three-step process. First, create a match definition, where you define the matching thresholds and match rules. Next, when you run the matching task, the source and target category subjects are matched based on the settings in the match definition and updated in the master table. At the end of the task execution, any source subjects with multiple potential matches are sent to matching stewardship for manual matching. The third step is for data stewards to review the possible matches and determine how to process the data. Now let's take a look at how reference matching works in MDM. First, I need to create the match definition. Go to Model, Match Definition, New Match Definition. Let's go back to the example where I need to match subjects from the SAP Source Systems category with subjects in the Location category. The goal is to populate the SAP Source Systems to Location association attribute with a reference to a matching location, as you saw before. I need to provide a name for the match definition, select the source category, and choose which association I want to populate. Next, I need to adjust the auto-accept, manual review, and auto-accept margin thresholds. I won't cover them in detail here, but you can learn about them in the user documentation. I'll first create a match rule for the SAP Source Customer First Name source attribute. Since I want to match using the customer's first name, I have to first choose the Location to Customer association from the dropdown. Notice the plus sign. This lets me select an attribute from a parent or grandparent category. So here I see all the attributes of the parent customer category. The plus signs in front of the customer to sales rep and customer to organization associations indicate that I could further roll up to select attributes from the grandparent sales rep or organization categories. But for the SAP Source Customer First Name source attribute, I only need Customer First Name. Customer First Name is a string attribute, so I'll select String Similarity as the match type. I can adjust the parameters here, but since I'm happy with them, I'm not going to change them. I want to add another match rule for the SAP source customer last name attribute, so I'll repeat the steps, but this time I'll match against the customer last name. My third match rule is for zip code. Here, location zip code is the target attribute. I'll keep the match type and parameters the same as what I've set for the other rules, but since zip code is probably relatively unique information across the dataset, I'll select this rule as the key rule in the definition. Every match definition needs at least one key rule. You can learn more about the impact of key rules in the documentation. Now I'll preview the match definition to see the effect of my thresholds and parameters on the data I'm preparing to match. With the default settings, 38% will be automatically matched, 57% won't be matched at all, and 5% will require a data steward's manual review. I'll adjust those numbers as much as I need to, and once I'm satisfied with the results, I'll save the definition. To run the reference matching task, I'll click the eye icon and then click Execute. Once it completes, let's go and look at the SAP source system subjects. I want to see the published records. I can see that the matching task has successfully populated the SAP source system to location association attributes for some of the records, such as Anthony Bell, who now has 95 Madison Avenue as his location reference. Finally, let's go to the Matching Stewardship inbox and view the records that require a manual match. I'll click the SAP source system match to review the records. It looks like I only have 3 manual matches to review. When I click one, I have buttons to match or reject, and I've got bulk operations to accept highest and discard. Let's look at Carmen Hallinen's record. From the available potential matches, Carmen Mary Hallinen is the proper full name. This record even has the address in detail. So I'll go ahead and match this record. The pop-up message tells us that the record has been successfully updated, and we can also view it here. Just to wrap up, I want to show you a specific subject and its specific references. Remember Anthony Bell? His SAP source system record was matched to the 95 Madison Avenue location based on the 3 rules we defined in the match definition. First and last names from the customer category, and zip code from the location category. Here you can see all 3 records and how they're related. Now let's switch gears and talk about the new Harmonization override feature. As you remember, the major new feature in MDM 10 was Harmonization, which lets you load data from disparate sources, then matches that data, merges the duplicates, and selects which sources contain the best values for each attribute, all based on harmonization and survivorship rules which you define. After a harmonized load completes, you can see the lineage for each attribute right in the MDM provider. They're the values highlighted in green. Charles Holtman is an example subject. You can see that his first and last names came from the SFDC source, but his middle initial, email address, address line 1, and zip code came from the SAP source. City and state were the same in both sources, so they're both highlighted. But there are times when a data steward needs to edit a harmonized record and doesn't want future harmonization runs to overwrite the changes. That's what the manual override feature allows. Here's an example scenario, using the rules defined for harmonization loads into our customer category. During a harmonization load from the SFDC and SAP sources, the survivorship phase selected the zip code value from SAP. Later, a data steward realizes that the SFDC source had the correct value, so she replaced the value. The company acquires another company, and harmonization is rerun to integrate a new data source. In this case, the change the data steward made will be preserved unless the override is explicitly cleared. Let's take a look at this new feature in MDM. Here's Carmen Hallinen, one of our customers. When I expand the lineage, I can see that her record includes harmonized data from SFDC and SAP sources. But I also see that Constance added an email address and the Suite 17 address 2 values manually, so the manual override is set for those rows, which means that future loads won't overwrite them. To allow them to be changed by later loads, I'd need to click the bin button. Let's quickly make the zip code edit I showed you previously. I'm logged in as Adam. I'll edit the record and add the missing Z into zip code, then save changes. When I expand the lineage again, you can see the new manual override in the zip code row. For more information on these enhancements, please refer to the MDM10 SP1 release notes and the user documentation. And don't forget to watch the other video.